Do you respond or do you react to situations? A long time ago, I had a couple in my office, and they described a situation where their son, who was around 18 years old, had come home one evening after curfew and had been drinking. Not a whole lot, but he'd been drinking, and he had driven home. And so when he got home, the father took his car keys, took his cell phone, took his television, took his PlayStation, grounded him for 6 months. The reason the couple was in my office was because after weeks of this decision, the mother was having to pick the child up from school. He was in high school, had to pick him up every day, bring him home, then had to take him to his job. When he got off work at 10 o'clock, she had to go pick him up and bring him home. They couldn't get a hold of him when they wanted to because he didn't have a cell phone. And it ended up being more of a punishment to the mother than it did to the son in a lot of ways. I remember hearing that. I was fortunate my children were younger when I heard this, and I thought, man, this guy really overreacted in his discipline. I think a lot of times when our children mess up, we think, justice needs to be swift, but it doesn't mean it has to be immediate. And something I want you to keep in mind, I know I'm making this sound more like a parenting thing, but this is more of a life thing. I want you to decide to be a person who responds to situations versus react. If you react to situations, you are training people not to talk to you. So like if your husband comes home and he tells you he lost his job, or your teenage daughter comes home and tells you she's pregnant, or your son comes home and tells you he didn't make an A on a test, what do? What's your reaction? Or do you respond? Because, you're going to train people not to talk to you, as you've heard me talk about this in future episodes. So you want to go ahead and decide now, how do I want to handle this stuff? So how can I decide now? It hadn't happened. You can make a decision now that no matter what happens, I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected. I have a saying that I like to teach my clients that, and this is a philosophy that I live by, I don't let other people, the weather, or circumstances dictate who I am. I'm going to be a person who is poised, self-controlled, and living a life of integrity regardless of what the other people are doing. So I don't, if the weather's bad outside, that doesn't change who I am. If someone else is upset, that doesn't change who I am. If the odds aren't looking so good in my favor, I don't let that change who I am. I want to bring a consistency of who I am, and I decided a long time ago how I'm going to be with the situations that I face today. So how can you do that? It really is as simple as a decision. So I want you to start kicking that around in your head and challenging you to just start telling yourself, I'm going to be positive in terms of I look at myself, other people in the world I live in, and I'm going to handle things in a way that sets an example for these other people and that makes me feel good about who I am. Because I used to have a temper, and I used to hate when I'd lose my temper. I never felt better about myself from doing that. I always felt bad. I felt ashamed of that. So I want you to be a person of discipline. These are the characteristics of what great partners do. And that's what I want for y'all. So thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. And I'll be talking to y'all soon. Thank you.